This man is famous circus performer and great businessman and father of 6 kids and artist. He immigrated from Russia and started this in Vienna. It's a super motivating story about endless human possibilities, life with severe body disabilities, very strong entrepreneurial spirit, and, of course, crazy love. Here's the real story about the man from Siberia who pioneered first and biggest theme park in Vienna, Prater. This park in Vienna is one of the favorites for all the Viennese. Old school white carousels and a lovely Ferris wheel. You don't need to pay for the entrance, like in Disney parks, for example. Instead, each attraction charges its own fee. The attractions are actually individual businesses, mostly owned by local families. Here's why the park actually brought my curiosity today. Prater paths in Vienna are named after the Schaff and Kobelkoff families. Wait, Kobelkoff? That sounds Russian to me. Like in the middle of Russian-Ukrainian war, people name streets after some Russian guy? I started to read about this guy, Kobelkoff, and kinda made a deep dive into his life, and I was amazed. How did it all happen, and why Austrians named theme park paths after him? Let's take a step back. Nikolai Kobelkoff was born on the 1851 here, in the Russian Empire. His father was a big shot in the city. He was a mayor. Nikolai was his 17th child, and he was a very special one. Nikolai grew up absolutely normal and was especially loved by his parents. He had no legs, but at the age of 2, he started to work on his leg stumps. Over the years, his dexterity grew tremendously. He learned to use the right stump of his arm, the way he was able to dress himself and to drink himself. He learned to write. He was doing it by clamping the feather between the cheek and the stump. Look at the beauty of his writing. I cannot write like that. He loved fishing, he loved hunting, and he could steer horses perfectly. He enjoyed his life. At the age of 18, he started to work as a clerk, dealing with payrolls and accounting books. Just a reminder, he has no legs and no hands, and it was 19th century, and you know what? His life was absolutely normal. I even think his life was even more fulfilling than of most people then. But wait for it, let me tell the full story. Here's what happened next. In 1870, Nikolai was approached at a fair. Famous theater director wanted to engage this extraordinary person for his performance in St. Petersburg. At the age of 20, he left his parents and began his career as a circus performer and quickly became famous. His tricks were mind-blowing, even for today. He traveled all over Russia and Europe. His popularity was so great that Nikolai was even introduced to the Russian emperor. Let's stop here for a minute to appreciate this man. He was doing things that a normal person didn't know how to do today. He was working in a circus and was traveling the world. He probably even said hi to the emperor. It sounds to me like a Hollywood movie lie. But wait, there is actually more. Let's get back to how he became important in Vienna. He was performing here in Vienna. Back in the days, it was a panopticon of August and August Schaff at Prater 66. And you remember a street in the park was named after not only Kobelkoff, but Schaff as well. This family is important in this story too. So why? Because Nikolai fell in love with Panopticon's owner's sister, but basically his boss' sister. So 18-year-old Anna was a very pretty girl, also coming from a famous showman family. Well, young people loved each other and they wanted to marry. And I remind you, it's a real story. The priest in Vienna gave a big no-no for a number of reasons, one of which was that Nikolai was Orthodox Christian and Anna was Protestant Catholic. Same thing happened when he approached the Pope in Dresden. Big no again. So, what do you think Nikolai did? Write in comments. I'll wait a second. Alright. Of course, he joined the Protestant church. And they married in Budapest. They were young, wild, and free. Nikolai planned to travel with his wife as an independent performer. Over the years, Anna and Nikolai had 6 children. All kids were healthy, and when grew up, they worked on his shows all over the world. What a happy man Nikolai was! He earned some money and used them wisely to buy some land in Vienna, in the Prater Park. You see? You see? The internet says that he actually bought it from his wife's brother, so it basically belonged to his wife's family, but whatever. What matters is how he used this land. And the thing that made Nikolai stood out from other businessmen is that he started to build rides on this land. What later becomes this. When Nikolai was 61, his beautiful wife passed away. She was 55. From now on, Nikolai Kobelkoff didn't want to travel anymore. He spent his twilight years surrounded by his children and grandchildren. He died at the age of 82 without ever seeing his home country and family back in Russia. Nikolai provided for his family for many years to come. His descendants still own the business in the amusement park. And yes, this year, 2022, parts of the amusement park Prater were named after Schaff and Kobelkoff families.